Yo, what up, guys? So I haven't made a long form video over gameplay footage in a while. I've been usually sticking to guitar shorts, lifestyle choices, and all that stuff, and just commentary. Yeah, and a lot of that has just been inspired by where my life is headed at this point, and it's good to see the channel have some steady growth. And I do want to stay with the roots every now and again because my early work was mainly about introspection. And that's not for everybody, and some people come on here to be entertained by guitar or entertained by fitness content or whatever it is I choose to do. And in the future, as this channel gains more traction, I'm definitely probably going to find a focus for that. But I do want to continue to remember the roots of what made this channel what it was, as far as it's ever going to get, whether it gets to, the thousands or not. I want to make sure that the people who appreciated the original art are still looked after in a way. But moving forward, I want to talk about cults and where I'm going with this, because the past couple months have been great. I'm not going to lie, especially, I made a video about this in June. It was more of a personal one. I had a tournament, and a week before, a girl that I was seeing that felt too good to be true just decided she didn't want to do it anymore. She realized our lifestyles were very different, and she wanted to be with her people, and I went to go be with my type. And I was a week out from my tournament. I saw a lot of my homies go through something similar, heartbreak-wise, and I was like, you know what? I have to be the light in a time where I'm in a lot of pain right now. So I gave my buddy a cross, because he was going through it, and he messaged me saying that was the nicest thing anyone's ever done for him, and we became better friends through that. And every time, I've been meeting a lot of people who are going through a lot of heartbreak, and I've been trying to give them tips on how to do it by leading by example. And on that Saturday when I had the jiu-jitsu tournament, I took home a gold medal, and I've been turning it into victory. So I've gotten completely sober. I have just overall been trying to make my world a better place, cut out sugar, been eating more whole foods and everything like that. I might make more content around that to kind of lead by example some more. However, it's been working out really great, and I'm seeing the progress come slowly and seeing just how everything has come together. And I've been meeting new friends in real life, and I think 8 out of 10 of those interactions have been really good. Like, I've met a lot of cool people. I've been doing a lot of fun stuff. And my new friends and I, we've just been kind of kicking back. And let me tell you something. When you learn the ability to walk up to someone and shake their hand and be open, you're going to open quite a few doors. It's a skill nowadays, especially in the days where a lot of people are stuck in their phones. That's not everybody. But when you sift through the world, you will meet a lot of people who do want that human interaction. And those are the people you're going to connect with. But you got to go through a lot. It's like when you meet people, it's like going through a bucket of ping pong balls. You're not going to, like every ball you pick. You're not going to have all of them with your name on it, but you're going to find those ping pong balls with your name if you just keep sorting through. Like, if you're going to find chapters in a book you like if you keep turning the pages. And that's me. And that's how I'm going to segue into that. Because when you're in this level up phase, which is a bit of a vulnerable position based on how you want to put it. Now, for me, not so much, because obviously I am pretty open. I am a guy who is very in touch with what makes him upset. And I think that's why I'm able to work through it and then come back with a more positive spin on life, is because I'm able to feel the things I need to feel at the moment instead of suppress them. And I think I'm more willing to talk about it. So you attract two kinds of people. You attract those who do want to listen, but then you attract those who want to exploit what they feel is vulnerable. And you see so many people who hold things down that people who are very open about what it is they go through are seen as vulnerable or weak, right? When I think that's a sign of strength where someone's able to talk about their scars or what bothers them. I think that's actually a really good, especially in relationships, when you and your significant other can know each other's shadows and know each other's negatives and still love each other for it. I think that's crucial to a lot of key friendships and key relationships. But you do attract a lot of sharks out there trying to take a bite. And I mean, I already made one about pyramid schemes and multi-level marketing, and that was the first story. I saw the guy again at the gym recently, and I'm not going to name his name or organization, just like I'm not going to name the second example over here. But this guy, he seemed to be under a lot of pressure because I didn't take the bait. Like, I was a sales guy for him, and I don't know what his higher ups do to him in that organization, but my spider sense went off, and this guy was like, he seemed like he was going through a lot of pressure. He just didn't seem like he was in his good energy. And just knowing the guy's former, past, I made the correct gut instinct call when it came to predicting how things were going to turn out for this guy. And I did tell him that anytime he wants, he could come find me and I'll show him what a real friend is, because I feel like he's just going down that path where, I've heard testimonies of people who were part of his organization, and they say, like, if you don't measure up, they start putting really bad things in your head and stuff. And you'd be surprised what they do to vulnerable people. It's actually really, upsetting, and just shows you what evil really is. But moving on, I met this older gentleman at church, because like I said, shaking hands with people and meeting new people, face-to-face handshake deals is kind of a superpower, and it does impress a lot of older types. And I have met a lot of older types that have taught me a lot, that I have actually been learning from currently, that have given me a lot of useful advice. And this guy has given me a few gems, but at the same time, where I'm going with this is I'm not going to name his name or the organization he was part of, but I just suspected a little bit of foul play. Now, over the past couple of weeks, we've been going to church together. We've been talking and meeting up, and he seemed like a really positive guy who just wanted to spread a lot of positivity. He was a really older gentleman, like in his 80s, so he seemed like, what harm could it be? But I always ask, if I need to see anything about this guy or any red flags, let it be known so I know, to tread with caution next time. So after church, we go to this location down the street, which was kind of where his base of operations was. And it was so, low key. It was kind of like a spy movie almost. And, he said, well, I want to tell you about my story, and then I want to hear your story. He tells me his story, and it's a long story, life story. I'm not going to get too into it. But, again, a lot of substance abuses and a lot of like ups and downs, I guess you could say. So he wanted to hear about my story. And right now, when I tell my story, I talk about, I call it the two-parter, the one part where I get hit with the heartbreak, and then the part two where I turn the heartbreak into something positive, and I'm kind of on a roll right now. Now, he wanted to hear the first part, and then he completely cut me off, and then he started trying to sell me on his thing, and it was the same thing. I go up, I look up testimonies for what it was he was trying to recruit me for, and this one was twice as nightmarish as the last organization that tried to rope me in. But before I was able to look up those testimonies, just something in my gut said, okay, he's trying to recruit. He's trying to act like he's your friend, like he needs to know you. And I had to restart my story 3 times, and every time I restarted it, he was like, he gave me that like side, glance, like, can we just get this over with, which is red flag number 1 or 2 even. And as I was saying, well, I appreciate the offer, but I got some stuff going on here in my personal life. I know where I need to be. He kind of seemed like he was losing me, and he kind of went into a bit of a panic mode where, like, on the way out, he said, or do you like steak? I said, nah, dude, I'm already going to make lunch at home because I've made it a priority to cook all my meals now and start really doing everything myself. And he's like, well, what about, a drive-through? And I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. I just told you, like, he's trying to get me to take a handout from him, which is what a lot of these like cults, like, things do. I'm not going to say it's a cult for sure, just because, reasons. But at the same time, when people who are trying to get you into organizations that are like that, they try to get you to take something from them so that way they can hold it over your head or try to make you feel guilty. So I already knew the game that I was playing. What I did was I said, no, thank you. I do not want anything from you. I just need to ride back to my car. But thank you for the offer, and I do appreciate you. He spent the entire car trip there talking about how, like, I had a sponsor once and I didn't do what he said, so he forgot about me and I could do something similar, all that stuff. And I said, yeah, well, it's just part of God's plan, right? And he's like, well, if you don't know the difference between God's plan and your plans are going to blow up in your face. Like, he was really trying to invoke fear in me. And it kind of reminded me why a lot of people don't go to church anymore and have religious and spiritual battles, is because, of that kind of stuff, of like fear. And going to different churches, I've actually seen people who are in that phase where they're so beaten down by the fear aspect of the book that they're like traumatized. I've actually met a friend who's like that now, who everything, like, if you even say his name above a certain decibel, he jumps. And it's really scary, because I think church should be a place where if you want to get closer to God, you should be able to, and not have to worry about all these sharks out there who are trying to, leverage your spirituality. But moving on, I just kind of like, on the drive back home before I got ready for open mat jiu-jitsu to go train more, I was asking for a sign that I should move forward on. And one of my friends from jiu-jitsu actually parked right next to me and said that one of their spirit guides wanted to talk to me. So, you ask and you shall receive. There's your next chapter right there. And I'm going to move forward with that and see where that goes. It just seems a little more authentic. Like, they're not trying to sell me on anything. And she just wants to talk to me in person because she thinks I got good intuition or something like that. Because it was crazy. I was actually talking to this girl at jiu-jitsu, and everything I said somehow just resonated with her. Like, the synchronicity was insane. But moving forward, where am I going with all of this? When you are in that level up phase, or that vulnerability phase, after you've taken a hard hit in life, I'm not saying everyone's out to get you. In fact, most people, I believe, are genuinely good. But I do want to say that you got to be aware of that select few who are trying to exploit, leverage, and get you hooked on something, especially entice you in with gifts and promises and everything like that. Because like the rules say, it's too good to be true. It probably is, right? And there are some people out there who will entice people like that. And, me at this age, I'm like, wow, there's people that still kind of fall for that, like the younger crowd. Yeah, because, well, they're younger. They don't have as much life experience. And if I could prevent people from falling into those traps, I think, like, that's a really good thing that I could do. And I think that's the whole point of this video, is just to watch out, because I want people to have more positive experiences after they take a hit in life, and they can take that and turn it into momentum and not get hit with more tragedy that's going to drag them even further, because that's just even worse. Because there's authentic opportunities to socialize and branch out and try to be a better person out there, but it tends to demoralize a lot of people when you kind of see stuff like that, like people trying to recruit you for their retreats and stuff like that, that just seem rather culty by nature. So I just want to say, if you're in that phase of like any sort of heartbreak, where you're over a breakup, or you just got let go from a job, or you're looking for that next thing, just, tread with caution and learn the difference between authentic and inauthentic opportunity out there. Because like I said, I'm paving my own path forward. I mean, I still got my day job and everything like that, which is going great. I've asked for more responsibilities around there, but as I move forward, I do want to document that, because I do want to make my own platform where I can inspire people, or I can inspire lifestyles, because it's things like that where I'm like, okay, I'm more hard pressed than ever to have an actual mission statement and lead by example for where this channel is going. So you are still going to see these introspective videos from time to time. I'm going to focus more on more, entertainment and leading by example of like lifestyle as things kind of take off with this thing. But I just want to let you guys know that to be careful out there, and you have not seen the last of me. In fact, I'm just getting started, because after seeing that, I'm more pressed than ever to be the light that outshines, hidden darknesses like that. But that's what I got to say. I'm going to go put this together and post it. But yeah, you guys take care out there. And if you guys are going through something, just know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Just stay focused on that light and keep chugging along, and you'll get there. You might encounter a couple orcs along the way, but it's worth the fight. But I'll see you guys on the next one, and peace out.